Search engine optimization is very important. Google and other search engines need to be able to find your site, and once they do find your site, they need to know what your site is about. They need to be able to parse the text on the site properly and get an idea of what it pertains to so that they can show it in search results. And there are some things that you can do to optimize your site to make sure that the search engines are getting the right information and showing your site's results in the manner that you want them to. If you're targeted toward a specific topic, like this site, we talk about WordPress blogging specifically, how to optimize it, configure it, etc. So we want to make sure that our web pages are optimized to be able to show up well in the search engines. It takes time, and it depends on the competition with different search phrases. It depends on the search phrases you pick. There's a lot of science to it, and there's a little bit of art to it. But for some basics, one thing that is a good idea to do is to install a plugin that's going to help you with search engine optimization on your WordPress website. My favorite plugin for that purpose is called Yoast. So we're going to install that today. As you can see, we're still fairly early in building out this website. So let's go ahead and install Yoast. So we're going to add a new plugin. Search for Yoast SEO, and we're going to go ahead and install that now. You can see it has more than 1 million active installs, almost 13,000 reviews, and has 5 stars. We're going to activate the plugin. Okay, now, I don't know if you just saw that little warning, but it said I had 2 active issues with my SEO, and there's a 2 up here in the Yoast. So let's go ahead and see what it's talking about. All right, no problems at the moment, but it does want us to do the configuration wizard, and it's talking about crawl errors. So let's go ahead and do the configuration wizard just to get the basics done and get this started. Alright, so this is a production environment that we're going to be working with. It's mostly a blog. It's a company, WP blog today. Don't have an image logo right now. It's actually something that we should work on, and additionally probably create a little fave icon so it shows up in the browser properly, but we'll deal with that later. I'm not going to mess with these social profiles right now, but if you already have social profiles created for your company, your site, yourself, whatever you're going to use there, go ahead and enter those in. Yoast is going to help you optimize the ability to be able to get some traffic to those with some nice little icons there. So go ahead and click next for now. Post types of posts. So when we post something, blog posts specifically, we want them visible. So we want Google to be able to see these things. We want pages to be visible. Media, we don't necessarily want Google to crawl our website and have links directly to images. We drop images into the web pages. We want Google to find the web pages and show those to visitors, but we don't want them to just link directly to the images. So we're going to leave the images as hidden. You can see that's actually the default, so it's recommended by Yoast for most people. Next. No, right now we do not have multiple authors, so not going to worry about that. It's possible in the future that we could have multiple authors, but we'll deal with that later. Alright, Google Search Console. We want to go ahead and authenticate with the Google Search Console. I already talked about the Search Console and the values there as far as being able to get your site indexed quickly, being able to search for error messages, your search queries, different things like that. It's nice. So let's go ahead and get that authorization going. Alright, so we've got a code here. We're going to paste it in and authenticate. Choose a profile. We're going to choose this blog's name. Next. Okay, so the website name, WordPress Blogging Today, title separator. So as you can see here, between the post title and the site name. So it will have, if we want it to, it will have the name of the post on our blog post, and then a separator, and then it's going to have the website name. So I'm going to pick that as a separator just to kind of mix things up a little bit. It doesn't really matter for SEO purposes, it's just a personal preference here. Next, don't really want the newsletter. Don't want to upgrade to premium. And we are done with that. Alright, so you can see on the Yoast settings in the admin panel, we've got a couple of different tabs. So you can restart the configuration wizard if you want to. You can look at some of the features. You can go ahead and scroll through some of these things. You really don't change a lot of these. Here's one thing that I probably will enable is the advanced settings page. I'm not sure why that's disabled by default, but I do want to turn that on. Cornerstone Content is a fairly new feature of theirs. I actually haven't used it yet, but you can mark certain content as very important to your website, and then Yoast will help SEO optimize toward that content. I'm going to save the changes because of that one setting that I changed. You can change your company information, Webmaster Search Console, etc. Alright, so now let's go look at a blog post. So now that we have the Yoast SEO installed, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of this blog post. And we've got a new section that Yoast has added in here. So this is going to allow you to help with the optimization of your website. By default, it's looking at the actual SEO. So we can enter a focus keyword. So let's pick transcribed YouTube. So focus keyword is actually if somebody types a certain phrase into the search engine, that's what you hope your site is going to be recognized for and then show up in the rankings. I really haven't done any research for this post specifically. I just want to show you the features. But once you enter in a focus keyword, Yoast is going to make some suggestions here. So no custom meta description has been specified, so we want to do that. The focus keyword doesn't appear in the first paragraph of the copy. So to increase your chances of rankings, you should have that keyword in the first paragraph. Internal linking within the page, linking to other pages within the site. It hasn't happened in this page here yet. And again, that's why I want to install Yoast right now, so I can go back and optimize some of these existing blog posts and also take advantage of these optimization tips for future blog posts. Keyword density, so it's going to tell you how many times the keyword was used within there. Are you going to use it within any headers? You know, it recommends that you have some images in the page, and when you have images, you want to have the alt text on the images help with the keyword optimization, and outbound links. So these are just some key tips right off the bat that are going to be presented here, and once you go through and fix some of these, you'll change from red to orange or red directly to green, and ultimately you want that to be green. You'll notice up here SEO is currently okay because we have done a couple of the recommended things, but a lot of them we haven't. So we really want to try to have that be green when we're all done. Something else interesting here is it actually shows readability. A lot of studies have showed that if your posts and your pages they rank high in readability, so they don't have super long sentences, you have some headers that are breaking up the text, you've got proper paragraphs broken up into different things like that, the types of words, the passive voice you're using, etc., can all impact the readability of your web page. And if it's a really good readable web page, once somebody does land on the site, they're more likely to actually stay there for a while and to click to other places on the website. So readability, while that's not the absolute focus of this plugin, which is search engine optimization, can have a pretty good impact. Google knows how long people are staying on your website. They know if people go to one web page and click to another, or if they hit the back button. They have all of that information. And they actually use that information to help with your rankings. Something else that happened once Yoast was installed is you'll notice over here, this blog post is in multiple categories. But ideally, you want this one post to have a single URL. So we don't necessarily want the post to show up /SEO/post title and /videos/post title. We want just one of those to show up. So I'm going to make SEO the primary category for this post right here. So that's the category that's going to be chosen for the URL when people are presented with this blog post. There are some other settings we can do here, and these are the advanced settings that we talked about earlier. So we can do specific Facebook information. You can put in a title, an image, so that way if somebody posts this to Facebook, it will have the title that you want, the description you want, and it should override any other settings to have a specific image presented in Facebook once you post that link. Very important information. If you have a good shareable image and description, you're more likely to get people to click on it, to like the post, to love the post, to share the post, whatever. And then you've got some default settings. This is a blog post, and right now I want it to be indexed. If I was doing a contact page, though, for example, I would possibly want to go down into these advanced settings, and I want to say no index, because I don't want my contact page necessarily to show up in Google's index for any reason. That's really not a valuable page that it would want them to go to. Maybe you would want them to, and that's fine. But there's likely some pages on your website that you just don't necessarily want to show up in the index. So if you set that to no index, it'll set a tag within that page to tell Google, if Google lands on that page, don't index that page and put it in their search engine. Follow versus no follow. So that's basically telling the bots, if you will, that if they land on this page, whether or not to follow links from this page. Again, this page, we want it to be fine. It's follow. We want it indexed. Everything kind of default right there. So go back to this readability. Now, let's look at something else here. Let's go back to the SEO. So this shows you a preview of what this page will show up and look like in the search engine results. So if somebody actually does find this, that's exactly what they're going to see. So the question you have to think about and ask yourself is, does this text that's shown right here encourage somebody to want to click on that URL? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. By default, it's just grabbing the first little bit of text that's written into your blog post, but we can change that. So let's go ahead and think for a minute here. Here's a quick and easy way to add transcribed video text to your WordPress blog posts. What did I pick as focus keyword? Transcribed YouTube. So I want to do transcribed YouTube video to your blog posts. Included is a short video walkthrough showing all these steps. Period. Oh, I went a little bit too far. All right, so you can see I have too many characters. They're not all going to show up. It's really that period at the end there. So the question is, do I just leave the period off, and that's what it's going to look like, or do I look at this and see if there's another place? Actually, I can see right there that I spelled YouTube wrong, so I can shorten it somewhere else, put the period in. So now when this shows up in the search engine, here's a quick and easy way to add transcribed YouTube video text to your WordPress blog post, included a short video walkthrough showing all the steps. That is probably going to encourage people to click on the link more than what was there previously. You can also notice that the SEO has actually jumped to good, because now we have defined meta description text. Additionally, that meta description text, we used the focus keywords. So this is going to help out with the search engine optimization. If we wanted to, we can change the title. We can put in a custom title. I think the title is actually fine, so I'm just going to leave that alone for right now. And I'm going to, here, let's look at one more thing. So this is desktop preview, mobile preview. So you can see on the desktop preview that actually goes off the screen a little bit, the name of the site, but you can still see the full title of the blog post. And I think that's what people are going to care about the most there. So I'm going to go ahead and click Update. And that post has been updated. That specific post is now search engine optimized for the phrase that we put in there. You don't notice anything different here on the post now. You can see that the category that I chose is showing up in the URL, SEO. If you want to get fancy, let's go ahead and just look at the page source. You'll notice that Yoast has actually added a number of things here for this post. So Yoast added a bunch of information right here. So it's defined the type, it's an article, here's the title of it, there's a description in there, some keywords that we've got going on here. So again, Yoast added this information. It's got links to the images to make it easier for social media sites to find it. If we wanted to get into it, and we didn't at this point, you could define a Twitter card. Again, it prevents you from having to understand all of this stuff yourself, but it is really very beneficial in optimizing your site overall and your individual posts and pages for search engines to be able to find them and show them up there. So there's a lot to search engine optimization, but hopefully this is enough information to just kind of get you started. I would go ahead and install the Yoast SEO plugin and start paying attention to that. Go back and look at some of your existing posts. I'm going to be doing the same thing here. I've got a lot of room for optimization here. And then as you create new posts moving forward, pay attention to those Yoast scores and tips and make sure that you change them and follow the suggestions that they make. It's going to help gain more traffic to your website and gain better visibility so that the people that you want to reach will get reached. Hope this helps. Happy blogging.